Good morning, students. Welcome back to the lesson The Rat Trap. Already we had a session on this, and we have come to know that the rat trap is a homeless tramp, a wanderer, a vagabond, okay, and his idea about the world as a rat trap. And one day, while he was, let us make a recap. One day he was passing by with his job, that is selling rat trap. Suddenly an idea struck his mind. What was that idea? You know, that the world is a rat trap and people are all waiting for the bait, either in the form of clothes or in the form of food or joys or riches. Okay, some people have already tasted it, okay, and were already trapped, and others who were trying to reach the bait are still moving around. Okay, and the other thing that we have come across is that this peddler, in order to have a shelter, knocks the door of a village cottage. There he could find a crofter, an old farmer, and the farmer readily accepted him, not only accepted but provided him food and shelter. And not only that, both played Miolis, that's a game, for some time before they went to bed. Dear children, we stopped here and now we will continue with the remaining part of the lesson. I hope all of you are ready to listen. Yes. After playing Miolis, both of them went to bed. The old man was just as generous with his confidences as with his porridge and tobacco. The guest was informed at once that in his days of prosperity, his host had been a crofter at Ramjio's iron works and had worked on the land. Now that he was no longer able to do day labor, it was his cow which supported him. Yes, that Bossy was extraordinary. She could give milk for the creamery every day, and last month he had received all of 30 kroners in payment. Yes, the old man has already shown his generosity by providing him food and shelter, and here with his confidences, here means secrets. Okay, confidences here means secret. And prosperity, word meaning prosperity is good fortune. Okay, prosperity. The guest was informed at once that in his days of prosperity, good fortune, his host had been a crofter at Ramjio's ironworks. That is a factory where he worked. Crofter here means a small farmer. All of you note down. Crofter here means a small farmer. Crofter is here. Confidence we have noted. Prosperity, good fortune. Okay, who lost had been a crofter at Ramsey's and mills and had worked on the land. He was working as a farmer there in that ironwork factory. Okay, now that he was no longer able to do day labor, it was his cow which supported him. Okay, now how did he get on with his financial matters? I think he had a cow and that cow supported him. Yes, that Bossy was extraordinary. What do you mean by Bossy? A Bossy cow. What do you mean by it? It's a cow name. Okay, that Bossy was extraordinary. She could give milk. What could give? Milk, and that milk he would sell in the creamery. And last month he got 30 kroners, that is a Sweden currency, kroner, 30 kroner in payment. Okay, now the next paragraph. The stranger must have seemed incredulous, for the old man got up and went to the window, took down a leather pouch which hung on a nail in the very window frame, and picked out 3 wrinkled 10 kroner bills. These he held up before the eyes of his guest. nodding knowingly, and then stuffed them back into the pouch. So here the crofter is showing, he is very credulous. What do you mean by incredulous? Unbelieving. All of you write down. Incredulous, unbelieving. Credulous means believing. So the stranger must have seemed incredulous because he could not even believe. For example, the ironmaster could not believe that this man had 30 kronas. So what did the old man do? He got up and from the windows near to the window, he kept the leather pouch, okay, and he opened it and uh, had shown that 30 kronas, that is in 10 krona bills, okay, like 10 rupees we have 30 rupees and 3 currencies, okay. These he held up before the eyes of his guest, nodding knowingly, and then stuffed them back into the pouch. Actually, he was not supposed to show the money to the stranger, but the stranger acted as if he was not a believing type, incredulous, okay. The next paragraph. The next day both men got up in good season. The crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow, and the other man probably thought he should not stay in bed. When the head of the house had gotten up, they left the cottage at the same time. The crofter locked the door and put the key in his pocket. The man with the rat trap said goodbye and thank you, and thereupon each went his own way. So children, now the very next morning, the farmer wanted to milk the cow, okay, and by the way, it was not good from the side of the guest, I mean here the rat trap seller, to continue sleeping. So he also got up and both wanted to go to two different directions. So what did the crofter do? Crofter just locked the door of the house, and by then the rat trap seller said goodbye and moved on, okay. But half an hour later, the rat trap peddler stood again before the door. He did not try to get in, however. He only went up to the window, smashed a pane, stuck in his hand, and got hold of the pouch with the 30 kroner. He took the money and thrust it into his own pocket. Then he hung the leather pouch very carefully back in its place and went away. But as we have already come across that this man, other than selling what you call rat traps, he would resort to little thievery, stealing money. So this time he did that again, okay. Though the crofter has shown all such manners, I mean good manners, generosity, everything, this man did not feel that way. He was tempted to steal the money. So once again he went to that house, and from near the window he broke one of the window pane, the glass, and he could reach the pouch through the window, and after taking the 30 kroners, he again left the leather pouch safely in the same place, okay. And next paragraph. As he walked along with the money in his pocket, he felt quite pleased with his smartness, and he was very happy to get that 30 kroners, okay. And he also was pleased with his smartness. He realized, of course, that at first he dare not continue on the public highway, but must turn off the road into the woods. During the first hours this caused him no difficulty. Later in the day it became worse, for it was a big and confusing forest which he had gotten into. He tried to be sure to walk in a definite direction, but the paths twisted back and forth so strangely. He walked and walked without coming to the end of the wood, and finally he realized that he had only been walking around in the same part of the forest. All at once he recalled his thoughts about the world and the rat trap. Now his own turn had come. He had let himself be fooled by a bait and had been caught. The whole forest, with its trunks and branches, its thickest and fallen logs, closed in upon him like an impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. So dear children, now this paragraph tells us that this man has been trapped or caught in a rat trap. Once he said the entire world is a rat trap and some people are waiting for the bait. Now for him the bait is nothing but the 30 kronas that he managed to steal from the crofter. So now what is happening with this man? He is moving around the forest. Actually he could have opted the highway, but having stolen the money, he felt it would not be safe, so he resorted to walk through the forest. But the forest was not a simple forest, it was very big and large, and he was walking around the same place. And what happened to him, it was getting to be dark, and he felt he was trapped because of that bait, and the bait of 30 kronas trapped him in the forest, and he could not come out of the forest, and he felt he was in an impenetrable prison. What do you mean by impenetrable? That you cannot penetrate. Okay. Yeah, you what is that? Impenetrable, you write down, that cannot be pierced. And what do you mean by thickest? Thickest here means thick growth of small trees. Okay, note down, thickest. Okay, what is the meaning? Thick growth of small trees. And another difficult word is impenetrable. What is the word meaning? That cannot be pierced. Okay, so dear children, now the rat trap seller felt that he was trapped in the forest only because he took that bait. What is the bait? 30 krona. From whom? From the crofter, the small farmer. Okay, so let us make a recap of what we have learned today. Okay, so we started with the stranger at the crofter's house. Okay, and the stranger showing him that 30 kronas that he got from the creamery where he used to sell milk from his bossy cow. Okay, and the stranger felt incredulous, so he wanted to show the money. So he took the money from a leather pouch that was hanging near the window and shown it to the stranger. Okay, but the next day both of them wanted to go in different ways. The farmer wanted to go to milk the cow, and it was not good from the side of that rat trap seller to continue sleeping in the house. So he too got up and both said goodbye and parted. But the man was tempted to steal. The rat trap seller, the vagabond, the tramp was tempted to steal the money. So he came back again to the same house near the window, and instead of opening the door or window, he smashed one of the pane and got his hands inside and took the money and left the leather pouch safely in the same place. Okay, and after taking the money, he was moving through a forest. He could not take that highway, public highway, for fear that he would be arrested or he would be traced by the crofter. So he got into the forest, and he was finding a way out of the forest, but he failed. Then he felt his idea that the entire world is a rat trap, and here the bait was nothing but the 30 kronas. So children, continue reading and also answer to the questions which are already given here. From where did the peddler get the idea of the world being a rat trap? Why was he amused by this idea? Did the peddler expected the kind of hospitality that he received from the crofter? Why was the crofter so talkative and friendly with the peddler? Why did he show the 30 krona to the peddler? Did the peddler respect the confidence reposed in him by the crofter? So here are 8 questions for you. Try to answer, and with this today's session is over, and we shall meet again tomorrow. Till then, bye bye.